Greif Brau, Schlöbberla.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got a special one today that came from the House of Trembling Madness, and it is from the Greif Brewery, or Greif Brau Brewery, and it is their Schlöbberla, which is basically a Landbier. And I have tried some beers from this lot before, the Greif Brewery, notably this one here, the Greif Bock. I don't know if you can see that or not. I really like the design on that bottle, and I even bought a t-shirt as well because it looked quite Germanic. So, and I saw this, and they've actually got quite a few of their beers in House of Trembling Madness, so I decided to splash out and get a few. And this is one of them. This is their Landbier. Now, Landbier can be quite hit and miss. I've tried Landbiers before, and some are good, some not so good. Landbier is basically beer that is the preferred style of the locality, that's brewed with local ingredients. It's a very loose term. Most good quality German brewers have a Landbier, and some, as I say, some are good, some are not so good, some are outstanding, such as the Potts Landbier. That's probably one of the best Landbiers I've tried so far, which is from northern Germany, around near Munsterlager, that is. But this lot, they're from Franconia, from a place called Forchheim, and that's known as was it Franconian Switzerland. And the reason it's known as Franconian Switzerland is not because it's got any connection with Switzerland, but the landscape is very much Swiss in its appearance. So if you've ever seen the Swiss countryside, it's absolutely idyllic looking. That's what this place looks like, this Forchheim place. And the brewery's been going quite a while. It's been going since 1848, and it's been going steadily ever since. It's had a few owners and a few different names to start off with, but the Greif family, or which Greif in German means Griffin, which is unusual because I always thought Griffin was an Irish name, but apparently it's German as well. But the Greif family took it over, and the brewery now is named after what was then the grandson, that was Josef Greif, and he was seen as the very forward-thinking man who expanded the brewery, modernised it, and made it what it is now. That brewery has gone through a modernisation process now, and it's brewing quite a few beers, quite a few interesting beers actually. They do a dark lager, they do a Bock beer, they do a Helles, the usual range of German beers, and they look quite interesting. So keep an eye out, because there's going to be some more from this brewery. But we've got the Landbier here today, so let's stop guessing, let's investigate this beer. Right, 500ml bottle, 5% ABV. It is a Landbier, and it's got on here, if you can see that or not. Can you see that? It's got solar beer. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but they had it on their other beer as well. It either means one of two things. It either means it's an environmentally friendly beer, which I think it is. I think they sign up to some kind of pact, which a lot of breweries, German brewers, have done, to mean that the brewery is ecologically friendly. It's either that, or it means it's a nice beer to have in the sun. I think it's the former though. I've seen that on a couple of breweries, and it's basically a green credential that beers have, and that's about it really. Label is quite nice, very old school. Got some old bloke necking some beer, looking rather cheeky. I do like that label. It's very. I will say that about the Greif Brau Brewery. They've got some really nice graphics. I do like their t-shirts. In fact, I've just seen a t-shirt on their website and I'm in two minds whether to buy or not. I cannot resist a good t-shirt. So, enough about t-shirts. Let's get this beer open. Right, and again, another thing I do like about this brewery is I like the logo, the Griffin logo. That's on all their caps. And I like that. That's a nice design. Yeah, very cool. Very cool, dude. Right, let's get this into a glass. Now it's a Landbier. That's a bit of a wide spectrum, but usually it's a darker style beer with a lot of malt in it. And usually a lot of the local ingredients. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'd expect from a Landbier. The Potts Landbier that I was going on about earlier, check out the review on the channel. I'll see if my mate can get some more of that and send it over, because that was an exceptionally good beer. I'll review it again. There it is in the glass, and that's about what you'd expect. It is slightly dark. It does range in colour, but oh, it smells lovely. That is just fresh bread. There's a little bit of sulphur on there, which you'd expect. Obviously this is a bottom fermented beer, so it's technically a lager, but the style is Landbier, which means beer of the country, if you want to translate it literally from German. Yeah, it's just malt. Nice. There's a little bit of sulphur on there, as I say, and that's still there. It's not too alarming. If it's really strong, then sometimes that can be overpowering and not good. But there's a hefty bit of malt on there as well. Now it's been filtered, so there's no suspended yeast. It's quite clear. There's quite a fair bit of carbonation on that. So let's get it down the hatch. Zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. Wow. Oh, that is good. Oh, that is really nice. The initial malt was like if you can imagine a mix between crystal and caramel malt. It was really sweet. And in a blindfold test, I'd say this was a top fermented beer. But the finish is just that lovely German liquid bread. Oh, it's really good. It reminds me of a cross between possibly a Helles and a Dunkel, or maybe even a Schwarzbier, if you mix the two, because it's very malt forward. There isn't a lot of hop character on this. It's all about the malt, really. There is that slightly, I can only describe it as a little sulphurous type of flavour. I've had that before in Bavarian beers, and it ain't bad. However, if you get too much of it in a beer, it really doesn't taste nice. But this is good. And what's making it good is that roasted malt that's been put in there. It really is caramel, a touch of crystal malt with that sweetness on there. And the finish is just that lovely German bread, liquid bread as they call it. There really isn't, there is a little bit of hop character on there, but this is more about the malt. One thing I will say, that carbonation is a little bit aggressive, and it's bordering on being slightly abrasive, but it doesn't take away from the flavour. That really does taste good. It's going down really nicely. I do like that. This is quite cold. I've just taken it out of the fridge, as you can see on the bottle, and it's very refreshing, and it really does deliver what I would call a typical artisanal German style flavour on a beer. Now I'm just looking at the label. Yeah, it says it conforms to the Bavarian Reinheitsgebot. That doesn't mean much at all. Water, Gasten malts, Hopfen, and yeah, malted barley, and that's it. Just the 4 ingredients. Yeah, that's about it. It's a very economical label. Nothing on the back. I do like that artwork. I really do like that. I'm probably going to keep that bottle actually, because I normally just chuck all the bottles away. But if I see a bottle that I like, I mean, I've got a couple up here. But yeah, that's one. Here's one. Seen this one? A beer called Fucking Hell. That was, oh, I've had that years, and that was got from, I think, in Austria. It was there's a place called Fucking in Austria. Can you believe? And that's their local beer. The joy. I'd love to come from a place like that. Where are you from? Fucking. That's really nice. I do like that. That's a good Landbier. It's not the best, but it's a good one, and I will remember that. There's been some Landbiers that have let me down from really good brewers as well. The Einsiedler did a Landbier, wasn't impressed with that. Mernschhoff did a Landbier, wasn't impressed with that. This lot, I like. So what is the verdict on Greif Brau Schlöbberla Landbier? Yeah, it's really nice. I do like that. It's really a showcase for the malts that they've put into that. There's lovely caramel malt on that, almost crystal malt in certain areas of the palate, so it gives you that lovely sweetness that you get from a crystal malt, even though this is bottom fermented, and it goes down nicely with leaving that liquid bread German type finish. There is a little slight sulphurous note to it, but the hops on there, they don't really come into play. In fact, if that was a little bit stronger, that could qualify as a Bock beer, because Bock beers are all about the malt as well. And if I remember rightly, that's what the actual Bock did taste like. It wasn't as dark as that, but there was a fair emphasis on the malt, and that's what they've done here. And that is a very good Landbier, a very good example of Landbier. It does exactly what I'd expect a Landbier to do. I'm going to give that, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. And I'd definitely recommend it. It was quite cheap, and in fact, I'll tell you exactly how much it was. Because, unlike Beers of Europe, House of Trembling Madness, they give you a price list. And that was £2.60. And for that, you cannot fucking go wrong. In fact, I've got Greif Brau Hell Lager. I've got Greif Brau Schwickel Keller Beer. And this one. So you'll be getting reviews of all three of them in the near distant future. I don't know how they're going to be put up, hence the reason I said near distant future. This channel is just fucking completely random. I'm not organised at all. I'm fucking useless. You see the state of the room, that's how organised I am. I've got so many things going on at the moment. I'm trying to record 2 albums, trying to get a studio together, trying to get me bikes, or one bike at least, back on the road. It needs a lot of work doing to it. I'm going around doing odd jobs for family and all that, so yeah, my time, and I've got to work as well, so it's all over the shop. So just bear with me. There will be updates regularly. The bass guitar updates I'm going to probably have to put on hold for a bit because, as I say, I've just got too much, and I know some people have put some really positive comments on there about the bass playing and all that. Really do appreciate that. It's just something I'm really into and really passionate about, so I thought I would put that on the channel. If you'd like it, you know, if you want me to expand on that, then please do. I'm just doing it for the hell of it. So if you'd like me to, you know, expand it, put on reviews of the bass guitars I've got or anything like that. I fucking hate doing that because it sounds like I'm an egotistical cunt. Look how many fucking basses I've got. I'm not like that at all. I really am. I don't like showing off what gear I've got. Is, you know, some people thrive on it. Their channels are dedicated to it. I'm not like that at all. But if you want me to do that, if you want to see what I'm using, then fair enough. Just give me a shout and I'll do it. If there's enough response, then I will do that. But let's get back to this beer. Yeah, very worthy. 8.5 out of 10 for that. You can't go wrong with the price. I will say it's not the best Landbier, but it's a very, very good example. There are better Landbiers out there, but this is good. Get it from the house, Trembling Madness, £2.60. Not a bad deal at all, in my opinion. So yeah, recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.